Have you ever met someone who seemed kind, honest, and trustworthy, only to discover later that they were completely different? The truth is, people often reveal who they really are without saying it directly. Their words can be carefully chosen, their smile can be convincing, and their promises can sound perfect. But their real character appears in the small things, the way they treat people who cannot help them, how they react when they are angry, what they do when nobody is watching, and how they behave when they do not get what they want. If you learn to notice these subtle signs, you can understand people more clearly without becoming suspicious of everyone around you. In this video, we are going to explore 7 powerful signs that can reveal a person's true character. So don't just listen to what people say. Start paying attention to what they consistently do, because sometimes, behavior tells you the truth long before words ever do. If you enjoy practical lessons about human behavior, confidence, relationships, and personal growth, make sure you subscribe to Next Level Motivation. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. And if this message helps you understand people a little better, share it with someone who might need to hear it. Now, let's discover the 7 signs that can help you read people more clearly. Point 1. Watch how they treat people who can't help them. One of the clearest ways to understand someone's true character is to watch how they treat people who have nothing to offer them. Think about it. When a person wants something from you, they may be extremely polite. They may listen carefully, smile often, and make you feel important. But what happens when they are speaking to someone who cannot improve their life, give them money, open a door for them, or increase their status? That is where you start seeing the real person. Pay attention to how they speak to waiters, cleaners, junior employees, elderly people, strangers, or anyone they believe is beneath them. Do they show basic respect? Do they say thank you? Do they become impatient over small mistakes? Do they speak harshly simply because they think the other person cannot fight back? These small moments can tell you a lot. Imagine going to a restaurant with someone. They are charming and friendly with you because they want to impress you. But when the waiter makes a small mistake, their entire personality changes. Suddenly, they become rude, insulting, and impatient. That reaction may tell you more about their character than all the compliments they gave you during dinner. A person's character is not only revealed by how they treat people they admire, it is revealed by how they treat people they don't need. This doesn't mean you should judge someone based on one bad moment. Everyone can have a difficult day. Maybe someone is tired, stressed, or dealing with a personal problem. What matters is the pattern. If you repeatedly see someone showing kindness only when there is something to gain, be careful. Real character doesn't need an audience. A genuinely respectful person doesn't change their basic manners depending on someone's position. They understand that every person deserves dignity. And there is another important lesson here: don't just observe how people treat others. Observe how you treat others when you have nothing to gain. Because reading people is not about becoming suspicious. It's about becoming aware. Sometimes the smallest interaction reveals the biggest truth too. Notice their behavior when they don't get what they want. You can learn a surprising amount about a person by watching what happens when life doesn't go according to their plans. When everything is going their way, almost anyone can appear calm, generous, and pleasant. But what happens when someone says no? What happens when they lose an argument? What happens when their plans are cancelled? What happens when they don't receive the attention they expected? That is when emotional character becomes visible. Imagine someone who seems wonderful when everything is going their way. They laugh, joke, but the moment they hear the word no, their personality changes. They become aggressive, manipulative, silent, or insulting. That reaction matters. A mature person can feel disappointed without making everyone else responsible for their emotions. They may say, "I'm disappointed, but I understand." They may need time to process what happened, but they don't immediately attack people. An immature person may turn disappointment into punishment. They might give you the silent treatment, create unnecessary drama, blame everyone around them, or try to make you feel guilty for not giving them what they wanted. Now, this doesn't mean that someone must remain perfectly calm every second. We are human. We get frustrated, we become emotional, we sometimes say things we regret. The important thing is what happens after the reactions. Do they recognize their behavior? Do they apologize? Do they take responsibility? Do they learn from the situation? Or do they always find someone else to blame? That's the difference between a temporary emotional reaction and a deeper character pattern. You can also watch how someone handles losing. Some people can congratulate another person even when they wanted to win. Others become bitter, jealous, or disrespectful. And remember this: you don't truly know someone's character when they have everything they want. You learn more when they don't. So don't only watch people during celebrations, watch them during disappointment. Watch how they respond when they hear no. Watch how they respond when someone disagrees with them. Watch how they respond when they are not the center of attention. Those moments can reveal emotional maturity more clearly than 100 pleasant conversations. Because character is often revealed when control disappears. 3. Pay attention to how they react to your success. You can learn a lot about someone by telling them good news. Not everyone who smiles when you succeed is genuinely happy for you. And not everyone who stays quiet is jealous. That's why you shouldn't judge a single reaction. Instead, look for patterns. Imagine you finally achieve something you've worked toward for months. Maybe you get a promotion, start a new business, improve your English, buy your first home, reach an important personal goal, or simply accomplish something that means a lot to you. You excitedly tell a friend. A supportive person might say, "That's amazing. I'm really happy for you." They don't need to compete with your happiness. But someone who struggles with your success may immediately change the conversation. "That's nothing. I know someone who did much better." Or they may find a way to point out what could go wrong. Enjoy it now. You'll probably have problems later. Sometimes jealousy doesn't look like anger. It looks like minimizing. They may congratulate you with a smile, but then repeatedly compare themselves with you. They may become distant whenever things are going well for you. They may only seem comfortable when you are struggling. This is an important sign to notice. A healthy relationship has room for both people's success. Your success doesn't take anything away from a genuinely secure person. They understand that another person's achievement is not their failure. Of course, people can have complicated emotions. Someone may genuinely love you and still feel a little jealous because they are unhappy with their own situation. That's human. Feeling an emotion isn't the same as acting badly because of it. The key is behavior. Do they celebrate your progress even when they are struggling? Do they encourage you? Do they give you honest advice without trying to destroy your confidence? Do they respect your achievements? Or do they constantly compete with you? Sometimes, the people who truly care about you are not the ones who simply praise you. They are the ones who can celebrate your success without feeling threatened by it. And there's a lesson for us too. When someone else succeeds, notice your own reaction. Can you celebrate them without comparing your life to theirs? Can you say, "I'm happy for you," and actually mean it? Understanding people should never become an excuse to judge them. Instead, let it teach you something about relationships, and about yourself. Because the strongest friendships are not built on being equal in every achievement. They are built on being secure enough to celebrate each other's growth. 4. Listen to what they say about people behind their backs. Here's a simple rule worth remembering. Listen carefully to how people talk about others when those people aren't present. Imagine you're sitting with someone and they spend the entire conversation criticizing their friends, coworkers, relatives, or former partners. Everyone is apparently selfish. Everyone betrayed them. Everyone is the problem. At first, you may think, maybe they have just had bad experiences. And sometimes that's true. But if someone consistently speaks badly about almost everyone in their life, it's worth paying attention. Because the way someone talks about absent people can reveal how they handle trust, conflict, responsibility, and respect. For example, suppose someone tells you about a previous friendship that ended badly. They explain what happened, acknowledge their own mistakes, and describe what they learned. That's very different from someone who says, "They were completely terrible. I did absolutely nothing wrong." Nobody is perfect. In most conflicts there are complicated emotions, misunderstandings, mistakes, perspectives. A person who can admit, "I could have handled that better," often demonstrates self-awareness. But be careful with people who collect secrets and gossip. If someone tells you private information about everyone else, ask yourself a simple question. Why would I assume they will protect my private information? If they casually share someone else's personal story today, they may casually share yours tomorrow. This doesn't mean you should become paranoid. People sometimes need to talk about difficult relationships. Sharing experiences isn't automatically gossip. Context matters. What matters is the pattern. Do they speak with compassion? Do they respect people's privacy? Do they try to understand different perspectives? Or do they seem to enjoy embarrassing, exposing, or humiliating others? And there's something else you can learn here. Sometimes people reveal their own values through the stories they tell. If someone constantly mocks people for being unsuccessful, they may place too much value on status. If they constantly criticize someone's appearance, they may be overly focused on superficial things. If they respect people even while discussing disagreements, that can reveal emotional maturity. So listen, not to judge but to understand. And before you repeat something someone told you privately, remember how it would feel if your own private life became someone's entertainment. Good character isn't only about what you say when people are listening. It is also about what you refuse to say when they aren't. 5. Observe them when they make a mistake. Nobody gets everything right. We forget things. We misunderstand situations. We make poor decisions. We hurt people unintentionally. We say the wrong words at the wrong times. So if you want to understand someone's character, don't only watch what they do when they succeed. Watch what they do when they are wrong. This is one of the most revealing moments in any relationship. Imagine someone makes a mistake at work. Do they immediately search for someone to blame? The instructions were wrong. They didn't explain it properly. Someone else caused this. Or can they simply say, "I made a mistake. I'll fix it"? That sentence may sound simple, but it requires something powerful: responsibility. A person who can admit mistakes doesn't become smaller by doing so. In many cases they become more trustworthy. Now imagine you're in an argument with someone. They say something hurtful. Later, they realize they crossed a line. What happens next? Do they say, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have spoken to you that way"? Or do they say, "I'm sorry, but you made me angry"? That little word, "but," can sometimes reveal whether an apology is actually an apology or simply an excuse. Of course, people deserve context. Sometimes both people contributed to a conflict, but taking responsibility for your own behavior is still important. Pay attention to whether someone can learn. A mistake itself doesn't necessarily reveal bad character. How someone responds to the mistake often tells you much more. A person who makes a mistake, acknowledges it, repairs the damage, and changes their behavior may actually demonstrate strong character. On the other hand, someone who repeatedly makes the same mistake, refuses responsibility, and blames everyone else may be showing you a pattern. This applies to you too. If you want to become someone others can trust. I was wrong. I misunderstood. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. These aren't signs of weakness. They are signs that your ego doesn't control your entire personality. So when you're trying to understand someone, don't ask only, "Are they successful?" Ask, "Can they take responsibility? Can they apologize? Can they learn?" Because perfection isn't what makes someone trustworthy. The ability to face your imperfections honestly is. 6. Notice whether their actions match their words. Words can be beautiful. People can make promises, give advice, talk about loyalty, speak about kindness, and tell you exactly what you want to hear. But words are easy. Actions require consistency. That's why one of the strongest ways to understand someone's character is to compare what they say with what they repeatedly do. Someone may say, "You can always count on me," but when you genuinely need them, they disappear. Someone may say, "I respect your boundaries," but when you say no, they pressure you. Someone may say, "I hate dishonesty," but you repeatedly catch them lying about small things. The problem isn't that people sometimes fail to keep a promise. Everyone makes mistakes, plans change, circumstances interfere. The real question is whether there is a consistent gap between their words and their behaviors. If someone constantly talks about discipline but never follows through on anything, notice it. If someone talks about kindness but humiliates people when they are angry, notice it. If someone talks about loyalty but constantly betrays other people's trust, notice it. Don't become impressed by promises alone. Watch patterns. A person's behavior over time is usually more informative than one emotional conversation. Think about someone who says, "I care about you." Maybe they don't send dramatic messages every day, but when you're going through something difficult, they check on you. They remember important details. They respect your feelings. They keep their promises when they can. That's consistency. Real character often looks ordinary. It isn't always a grand speech or dramatic gesture. Sometimes it's simply doing what you said you would do. And this is an important reminder for your own life. Before asking whether other people's actions match their words, ask whether yours do. If you tell yourself you're going to exercise, study, read, improve your communication, or spend more time with your family, do your actions support those intentions? Because integrity means your private behavior doesn't completely contradict your public promises. When you start noticing this in other people, you become better at understanding relationships. You don't need to analyze every sentence. You don't need to decode every facial expression. Simply watch consistency. Words tell you what someone wants you to believe. Repeated actions give you evidence of what they actually practice. And when the two don't match, pay attention. 7. Watch how they treat you when you set a boundary. One of the fastest ways to understand a person's attitude toward you is to say no. Not because you want to test people or create conflict, but because healthy boundaries are a normal part of life. Maybe someone asks you for a favor and you genuinely cannot do it. You say, "I'm sorry, I can't this time." What happens next? A respectful person may be disappointed, but they understand. A controlling person may become angry. They may say, "You don't care about me." They may pressure you. They may make you feel guilty. They may suddenly become cold because you didn't give them what they wanted. This is important because respect isn't only about agreeing with someone. Respect also means accepting that another person has the right to make their own choices. Healthy relationships have boundaries. You can love someone and still say no. You can care about someone and still need personal space. You can be kind and still refuse to be treated badly. You can forgive someone without giving them unlimited access to your life. Pay attention to how people respond to these limits. Do they respect your time? Do they accept your decisions? Can they disagree without attacking you? Can they hear no without turning it into a personal war? If yes, that's generally a healthy sign. But again, don't judge someone from one emotional reaction. People can become disappointed. They can need time to process rejection. The important thing is whether they eventually respect your boundary. And remember, boundaries aren't walls designed to keep everyone out. They are guidelines that tell people how you expect to be treated. When you communicate them calmly, you give healthy people an opportunity to respect them. You also give unhealthy patterns less room to continue. Sometimes, setting one small boundary can completely change how you see a relationship. Not because the boundary magically changed the person. It simply revealed how they respond when they don't get control. And perhaps the biggest lesson is this: you don't have to explain your every decision to everyone. You can be respectful without being available all the time. You can be kind without saying yes to everything. And you can protect your peace without becoming a cruel person. So watch what happens when you say no. Because sometimes, the reaction to your boundary tells you more about the relationship than years of conversation ever could. At the end of the day, reading people isn't about judging everyone or becoming suspicious. It's about becoming more aware. Watch their actions, notice their patterns, listen carefully and give yourself time to understand who someone truly is. Remember, character is revealed through consistency, not just through charming words or impressive appearances. If this video gave you a new way to understand people, don't forget to subscribe to Next Level Motivation and turn on the notification bell for more powerful lessons on confidence, relationships, mindset, and personal growth. And now I want to ask you, which of these 7 signs have you experienced in real life? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience might help someone else see a situation more clearly.